So I'm a little late to the party this, but I just wanted to make a quick vlog talking about Microsoft's recent Windows press conference event thing that they did. They talked about some stuff and they announced the pretty decently leaked going up to the event Surface Laptop and Windows 10s. I got some things to say about Windows 10s. Windows 10s seems like an incredibly short-sighted, stupid idea. I understand the intention behind Windows 10s is they want to make something that competes with Google's Chrome OS, because Chrome OS is doing really well. It's not a huge household thing like something like Windows or even Mac OS is, but it's already dwarfed Linux's entire install base, and Linux has been around for fuck knows how long now. And it's doing really well in the education sector. And the Surface Laptop and Windows 10s is being, positioned as an education product for the most part because they're targeting Chromebooks audiences. I don't understand why the press, because I've been reading some stuff about Windows 10s, I don't get why the press is giving Microsoft a pass on Windows 10s. I don't, because Windows 10s is, for all intents and purposes, Windows RT. For anybody who doesn't remember, Windows RT came out, I think, back in 2012, 2013, with the original Surface Pro and Surface devices. The Surface Pro ran Windows 8. The Surface RT ran Windows RT, and RT was just a version of Windows that was only compatible with the App Store apps and didn't work with legacy applications. Windows 10s is a version of Windows that only works with the App Store apps and has no compatibility with legacy apps. The only difference is that it runs on x86 hardware, whereas Windows RT didn't, and you can upgrade to a regular version of Windows for $50. So you're not completely fucked if you buy a Windows 10s device, but you do have to pay a ransom to get out of it. This isn't going to work. I don't think it's going to work, and let me explain why I think it's not going to work. Windows 10s takes the worst part of Chrome OS and markets it as its entire feature set. Chrome OS's biggest weakness is the fact that it doesn't have access to a fuckload of applications. That's why Google's trying to desperately get Android apps on Chrome OS, because that fixes its biggest problem. The Chrome Web Store is okay, because Chrome is a really popular browser. There's a lot of application stuff being made for Chrome, but in terms of replacing something like the Windows ecosystem, it doesn't even come close. Android can fill that gap a lot better, and that's why they're trying to get Android apps onto Chrome OS. The Windows Store, from its inception, has been criticized universally as being starved for applications. And despite Microsoft making a big deal about the Windows Universal Platform, and me personally thinking it's a good idea, the fact that it only runs through the Windows Store, and the fact that there's really no incentive to get legacy applications converted to Windows Universal apps, means that the App Store for Windows 10 has been fucking garbage, compounded with the fact that Windows Phone never took off, and that was kind of like their Trojan horse to get their App Store going, was hoping Windows Phone adoption would go up, and it never has, and now it's fucking dead completely. So we have a platform that Windows 10s is built around that has no ecosystem at all. And you can't download something like Chrome, so you're going to have to use Microsoft Edge, which, as we know, has no ecosystem at all. So these systems are going to be starved for applications other than the ones that Microsoft makes. Of course, it's going to make a version of Office, Office 365 for this, but it's not going to be free like the Google Suite is on a Chromebook. So what's the point? This is a system that the only difference between regular Windows 10 is that it doesn't work with legacy applications. It's not something like Chrome OS, where Chrome OS is just a browser for the most part. I mean, there's a little bit more going on behind the scenes than just the Chrome browser, but that's kind of the beauty of it, is that it's so stripped down, it's so simple, it's basically a browser, it's incredibly easy to deploy and manage on the IT side, and it auto updates by itself. Now, I'm not an IT person, but just from what I kind of know and have read about Chrome OS, this is its strengths. It's very hands-off when it comes to deploying and implementing in the education sector. It doesn't take a lot of work. And there's nothing to worry about, and everybody knows how to use Chrome. It's basically, just, from a user perspective, it's a browser in a box. That's what it is, and that's why it works really well. Everything, if you want to use it, you just go onto the website you want. It works just like the web browsing experience you're already used to. It's just that compartmentalized. Windows 10S is the entirety of Windows minus the biggest strength of Windows. Its huge, massive backlog of legacy applications. Seems like a fucking terrible idea to me, but, you know, what do I know? The other thing that they're talking about with Windows 10S is that partners are going to come out and make Windows 10S products under $300. This would be great, except we already have full Windows 10 products under $300. So what's the point? You know, like we've already had, you know, for a year we have like Windows 7 Starter, we had Windows 8.1 with Bing, and we've been having, you know, versions of full-fledged Windows at the sub $300 and sub $200 mark to combat Chromebooks since Chromebooks have basically come out. So what is the point? Why would I want to buy a Windows 10S product as a consumer when for the same price I can get a full Windows 10 product that does more? I can't play Hearthstone or something on my Windows 10S machine, but I can on my regular Windows 10 system. The benefits of Chrome OS aren't there. I don't get the Android ecosystem. I don't get the Chrome ecosystem. I don't get the simplicity, if I'm an IT guy, of deploying and managing them. I have to deal with the full fat of Windows. The only good thing is I don't have to worry about my users fucking it up by installing applications or shitware. But, like, you can already, like, control that to a certain degree with regular Windows 10. So, again, where is the benefit? I don't see it anywhere. I think Windows 10S is like a Steve Ballmer Microsoft level of stupid. You know, Windows 10S, Steve Ballmer dumb, stupid, short-sighted. That's what Windows 10S is, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to be very surprised if this takes off and becomes a competitor to Chrome OS, because I just don't see it happening. And the Surface Laptop is something I'm so just conflicted on. You know, the device is gorgeous. It's designed insanely well. I like how it has a pixel sense display, so it's like high resolution, and it's 3:2. I think everyone should start adopting a 3:2 ratio. I think it's just way better than 16:10 and 16:9. But $999 for 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gig SSD? That screen's only going to get you so far, Microsoft. And one port, one USB and display port, and that's it? We're not even going to get a USB-C? Like, I'm not in Apple's camp on all USB-C, all the things, but, like, can we at least have one? The one thing I will give Microsoft credit for that nobody else is the fact that they're still using their MagSafe quote-unquote power connector. I don't understand why Microsoft is getting shit on for keeping the MagSafe, because their Surface power connector they use for all their Surface devices, it's ubiquitous from the Surface Pro 3 onwards. It's the same cable, and it's magnetic, so it's just like MagSafe, essentially, just a little bit of a different design. But that's great. I like that, but now that they're not putting a USB-C cable there instead of MagSafe, they're getting shit on. But when Apple got rid of the USB-C, or got rid of MagSafe, you know, everyone was pissed that MagSafe was gone. Because they're like, how could you take away MagSafe? That was such a great thing. But now that Microsoft's like, okay, we're going to keep our MagSafe, everyone's like, why don't you just get rid of MagSafe like Apple did? I understand that from the perspective of the Surface laptop, a USB-C port instead of their proprietary power connector would probably be more useful. But again, the whole purpose of MagSafe and the Surface power connector, because it does the same thing with the magnets, is that it's not going to take your laptop fucking tumbling if you trip on the cable. That was the brilliance of MagSafe, and that's what the Surface power connector does too. But I think the Surface laptop is probably a bit overpriced. It seems like it's going to be filling the exact same role that the Chromebook Pixel did from Google. It was an incredibly overpriced product because this is running Windows 10S, which I don't know why you'd buy an i5 system for $1,000 to run a gimped version of Windows. You can upgrade it for free for the first year to regular Windows 10, which if you buy one, please, for the love of God, do that. But after that, it's going to be the same $50 as anything else. And then I think Acer and a couple other companies are coming out with like $300 Windows 10s systems that I don't think are going to sell very well, because I can't see these doing well in the regular market, because Windows 10s looks like Windows 10. It functions like Windows 10. It's only when you go to try and install something like Google Chrome or League of Legends that you're going to realize, oh fuck, this isn't Windows 10. And most people are going to be too uneducated on Windows 10s to understand what it is. It's the same thing that happened with Windows RT. Everybody didn't understand why it looked like Windows 8, acted like Windows 8, but wasn't Windows 8. This is the same problem. If you see an Acer TravelMate book that runs Windows 10s for $300, you pick it up and you bring it home and it doesn't install Skype the way you want it to, or Discord, or League of Legends, or Hearthstone, or anything like that, you're going to be like, what the fuck? And people are going to get pissed. When you buy a Chromebook, it isn't Windows. You know you're not getting Windows. This isn't going to work like that. If Microsoft wanted to make a competitor to Chrome OS, what they should have done is they should have used this opportunity to strengthen Edge as a platform. They should have pretty much copied the entire textbook out of Chrome OS. This entire platform should be based on Edge. It should be Edge with a little bit of Windows backend to run, it should be able to run the applications in the Windows 10 App Store. It should be compatible with the Universal Windows platform. But when you turn it on, it should open up a blank Edge browser. It should be the same thing as Chrome, just an Edge browser, because then it's going to incentivize people to start developing for Edge, which Edge desperately needs more development in order to compete with Chrome just on the desktop front. So you could have used this as a Trojan horse to get your Edge development going, and then also as a Trojan horse to get your Windows Universal Platform going, because you've created a platform that's specifically designed to do these two things. And now you're saying, but that's what Windows 10s is. It is that, but it's also all of the bloat of Windows. This needed to be streamed down like Chrome OS was and make it very clear to the customer what it is. Anyways, my camera just freaking died on me, so I just lost my entire momentum. So I guess that's all I gotta say on Windows 10s and the Surface Laptop. It's dumb, and I don't like it. So let me know in the comments below what you think of Windows 10s. If you're an IT guy who works with education, I would be very interested in knowing your perspective on Windows 10s, because you probably have a better perspective on its uses and pitfalls than I do, a hobbyist who sits in his basement and talks to the camera like a fucking freak. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Windows 10s. Until next time, I'm Tom Oliver. This is Rare Pixels, reminding you guys we might be indie. That doesn't mean that we're alone. Catch you on the next one.